So for those of you graduating tonight, and those of you who are entering the class, at the end of the class you're going to ask yourselves, I learned all this great information and I'm passionate about what's happening, and now what do I do?
One of the major issues that's brought up every year is like, what's next after LGC? And I think LGC Unleashed might be filling that hole.
We don't want to lose that talent. We don't want to lose the expertise. We are absolutely looking for ways to bring people back within the fold of the organization.
So what the Unleashed effort is a way for us to do several things. First of all, connect as fellows, and more importantly, find a way to take what we've learned, and for those of you graduating, to say, what do I do? What you will be able to do is engage with one of the Unleashed groups.
The last time we met with LGC Unleashed was my first time on the 66th floor of what I would always remain to say is the Sears Tower, or the Willis Tower, at Schiff Hardin. And a group of about 25 to 30 LGC alum came together to talk about the issue of education and Chicago Public Schools, and we formed various subcommittees.
And the achievement gap is very important for me because I want to understand more about why some schools are doing very well and some aren't, as well as why some students are not doing well. Some of the things that we have done are take field trips to schools, and within those field trips we're learning more about how the schools are organized, what the leadership structure looks like, how the parents are involved, how the community is involved. We're learning about pros and cons between charter schools versus public schools, and just ways that we can support our students more.
Another one of our Unleashed efforts is on housing and community development, and so part of what we need with the conversation is affordable housing and the lack thereof, and how we're going to deal with affordable housing needs of our city and our suburbs. One of the questions that we talked about is how do we bring both employment opportunities as well as to the food desert some quality food beyond the choices of a community store, and we've got a great group of people that are focusing energy on those issues.
So one of the things about race that is so important is that it intersects so many other areas within our community. So we're looking at race as it relates to immigration, as it relates to crime and violence, as it relates to health, corporate America, education. And we're having conversations with people who are very expert in the subject so that we can understand more about things that we don't necessarily know, and then ultimately understand how we can do things to affect change. We want to make sure that each of our experiences leads us to a way that we can say, what can I do better? What can I do differently? How can I affect positive change within the city of Chicago?
This is an opportunity for us to take that first year's knowledge and apply it to the city and apply it together.
Dialogue is in session. I'd love to tell you we have outcomes to measure yet, but we're too early into it to say we can come up with the solution. And that's really the challenge right now.
I think we tend to think about ourselves as the class of this or the class of that, but at the end of the day, we're all LGC alum. And we have a great part to play, a great role to play in the change that we want to see in our city. So I'm really excited about that, and I really encourage folks who aren't involved yet to get involved. LGC Unleashed.